While the Saints must win against beat-up 49ers, can New Orleans defend home turf against the San Francisco 49ers? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Off the Bench. Jacob Hester, Matt Flynn. All right, let's go ahead and get into it.
The New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers. What an opportunity for the Saints. This is a game that the line opened up at -7.5 for the 49ers. It is now all the way down to -3.5 for the 49ers. So a lot of movement here in this line. Brock Purdy out 2 to 5 weeks, which it's a timetable I've never heard, but that's what it is. No George Kittle either. This is a great opportunity for your New Orleans Saints to go be victorious in the Superdome and get some confidence, get some momentum.
Much needed. I mean, I don't care if it's against, Mac Jones or whoever. Like, get a win. Get that 0 away from Spencer Rattler. Like that would be such a big deal for this team. And a perfect opportunity to do it. I mean, just from Kellen starting as a head coach, you lose the first game. The team had such a bad year last year. Rattler's 0-6, 0-7 now. A win would give Kellen Moore the confidence of all right, whatever I'm doing, I can do this. Like, whatever we've put into place, I can be a head coach in the NFL. I can win games. I can do that. It would give Spencer Rattler the confidence of all right, thank God. I can get a win. It would give the rest of the team confidence that, hey, maybe things are turning around, or maybe what Kellen's preaching is working. And even if it's, for a week or 2 weeks or a day or 72 hours or whatever, that is such a big deal. It would give the fan base something. I mean, it would give the fan base something of, it's not just week in, week out, lose, 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 lose. Good game, but lose. Good game, but lose. To actually have a win
against a team that we kind of were saying, hey, there's no way you're going to win this game in the preseason, but now because of injuries, you have an opportunity. And Spencer Rattler in week number 1, I thought there was a lot of things you can build off of from what he did out there. Again, if that pass gets caught on 3rd down, who knows what we're talking about right now. But it's a great opportunity for the Saints because you are dealing with a team that is just a shell of itself right now. Yeah. Go take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a team that let's not downplay the impact that George Kittle has on this team. I mean,
it's their biggest playmaker besides Christian McCaffrey, and their quarterback. Like it is a huge. I mean, and not to mention George Kittle is an extension of the offensive line, but it is the only way. Again, not saying anything groundbreaking here, but the only way the 49ers could be any weaker is if McCaffrey wasn't playing. But beyond that, it's just whoever out there.
This team no longer has George Kittle, no longer has Deebo Samuel because he's out there catching passes and making plays for the Commanders. They are down their starting quarterback, and you have to play Mac Jones, who's had I guess you could say, a tumultuous career up to this point.
I was going to say tumultuous.
But certainly has talent, former first-round pick. We know him well here at LSU.
Mac Jones had a good rookie year. Kyle Shanahan is certainly a guy who can get the most out of anyone, right? So I'm not discounting Mac Jones. I'm not discounting Kyle Shanahan, but it is Mac Jones. And anytime you're playing against a backup quarterback, you got to take advantage of it.
And then also the guy that's an incredible player, one of the top fantasy guys in the world, but seems recently to be put together with duct tape and putty. Mr. Christian McCaffrey, he's dealing with a little bit.
He was sweet in week 1.
Of a calf injury right now as well, so I don't look to him to be at 100%, but still at 80%, he's pretty darn good. So, I would expect that Chris McCaffrey, not 100%, that a guy flying around, if Demario Davis comes out and plays like he was at the speed he was and the intensity he was, can match up pretty well against that.
Yeah.
So, I think we said this yesterday. Saints fans, if not now, win.
Yeah, got to win. And it's crazy because they're 3.5-point dogs at home, which is a lot, right? So, but to say it's a must-win game, it really does feel like that. It really does feel like you got to have this one. And something that we're not really paying attention to is, like, San Francisco's got all these injuries on the offense, right? Kittle, McCaffrey's banged up, Purdy's hurt, Jennings is banged up, whatever. The only way you win is if you score points. And we are going to have to see it from the offense. We said this after the Arizona game, before Purdy got hurt. We know now that the Saints offense can matriculate. It can take its time and get up and down the field. All right. Arizona's defense, it's not the best defense in the NFL, but it's not bad. And they struggled to put together long drives. They showed they were capable, right? They had a scoring drive. But now we got to see that next step. And I don't care if Mac Jones is hurt. I don't care if Jawan Jennings is banged up, and Christian McCaffrey's banged up, and Brock Purdy's out. I don't care about any of that stuff, right? Like, the Saints offense is going to have to prove it. And we're assuming this is going to be a low-scoring game because of the injuries on the 49ers side of things. But no matter what, the Saints are going to have to go out there and have success on offense. And they're going to have to get first downs. They're going to have to extend drives. They're going to have to push the ball downfield. They're going to have to score. They're going to have success in the red zone. They're going to have to make field goals. They're going to have to do everything. They're going to have to run the football, right? Can they do that? If they can do that, this is absolutely a must-win game. Because Brandon Staley was in San Francisco last year, so I would assume Staley and the defense is going to be pretty sound, even if McCaffrey does sort of kind of get his. But the offense has to take a step in this game.
You got them at home. Got them at home. You got them banged up. You're not going to get their best shot. So this is a must-win situation for the Saints, just from a moral, just from a feel-good standpoint. Yes, it's not a must-win because we're going to make a playoff run or anything like that, but just for the sake of a new head coach coming in, putting in a new system, new coaches, new everything, new regime, except for Mickey Loomis, new a lot. You have to come in and win.
New a lot.
New a lot. You have to come in and win these games. When a team is down to backups like this, especially quarterback and their most dynamic player, game changer on offense, you got to win them. I don't care who your quarterback is. I don't care how many games he started or not started. Spencer Rattler has done enough to this point for us to be hopeful that he can be a competent NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
He takes care of the ball. He can move around the pocket. He's accurate with his throws. Now you have to take that next step, and you have to elevate everybody around you. You have to elevate the offense. You have to put points on them. It doesn't matter how efficient you are, what your completion percentage is. All that really matters is how many points you got at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that. We talked about that with LSU, Florida last year. Stats look great. We dominated, blah, blah, blah. Well, Spencer has proven that he can operate this offense, be efficient, make good decisions. We only got a one-game sample size this season. So
Yeah, I mean, he's proven that he's not a dumpster fire. Like, he's proven that it's not going to be that bad. But not going to be that bad doesn't necessarily get you wins. Like, we have to now see what would equate to wins.
How will it look in week 2? Will the Niners come and kind of try to recreate what the Cardinals did on defense versus the Saints, which is play a big over-the-top shell and try to keep everything in front of you, a bend-don't-break kind of mentality? And if they do that, what are the answers that the Saints give them?
Yeah, I mean, if they do that, the Saints should know. The Saints should know, like, all right, well, this is what we should have done last week or what we wish we would have done or whatever. I mean, Bobby Salah, not a great head coach, but certainly is an apt defensive coordinator. So he's going to have a plan for the Saints offense, and hopefully the Saints are ready for that.
Got to run the football. Got to create big plays off play action. Then at the end of the day, you have to be a threat, and you have to have a good third down conversion percentage.
So when you look at the game flow from a week ago against the Cardinals, you threw the football 46 times. You only ran the football 22 times. And 4 of those runs were Spencer Rattler. Now, you had some design quarterback runs, and I'm okay with that. That number 46 and 22, I think it needs to meet in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
Because
we can't – yeah, agreed. We can't throw the ball 50 times every game, and we need to run it more.
You have Alvin Kamara. He only had 11 carries in this.
And 2 catches. So, I mean, is Alvin – that's the big question mark I have. Is Alvin going to get more volume in the passing game, or is Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed going to continue to see the bulk of the volume from Spencer Rattler.
Contest a week ago, he had 2 catches, 13 touches for Alvin Kamara. For me, that's not enough.
Now also about that, like Alvin, it seems like the way he's going to get catches is from designed like screens and passes to him, because Rattler is not. There's not these long developing plays to where Spencer goes through 4 reads and then dumps it off. Like, that's not happening. When he goes to throw, it is Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, seam, intermediate, short, whatever, and he gets rid of the ball. And that just seems to be the style, right? That style does not really work to read, dump, like Derek Carr did. So is it going to be, because now Kellen, he sees the box score, he sees what Alvin did week 1. So now is Kellen thinking, all right, well, I do need to prioritize getting the ball to Alvin more. I do need to prioritize some of these screens. I do need to prioritize some of the, maybe even get him in the slot, get him running routes. Like, will Kellen do that, or is he okay with the target share?
Right now, I know he's a little bit older. When you get to 30 as a running back, they pretty much call you ancient, but he doesn't have the normal wear and tear of a normal running back that's been, one of the best players in the franchise, because he's, had Mark Ingram. He's had other backs that have taken some of the workload off of his legs there. You can't give him the ball 13 times. It's got to be closer to 20, in my opinion. So, like, how do you find a way to get him the ball? I'm not even saying it has to be just a direct handoff. If you want to throw him a swing pass, if you want to throw him a running back screen, a slip screen, Alvin Kamara can do it all.
Yeah.
It just can't be only 13 times.
I would love to see Alvin run more routes. I would love to see him more in the actual progression, more as either a slot receiver or just running routes out of the backfield or whatever. I'm never a fan of just dumping the ball off and calling that a play. Sometimes you have to, but I think a little more intentionality.
Yeah, and a lot of that was based on mistakes that were made. I mean, you had 13 penalties in the game. You had a lot of pre-snap penalties.
Got to clean that up too. Something else to watch out for. If that number is 13 again, or 12 again, or 11 again, or whatever, we got problems. If they drop it down 5 penalties, 6 penalties, whatever, a little bit more of the manageable, like, all right, this just happens every game, then we know it was a week 1. We know it was a new system. We know it was a new, whatever. We saw that across the board with a lot of teams, especially teams with first-year head coaches, where week 1 they have a lot of penalties. I think Chicago had like 11, right? So that's something else to watch. Is there a change there, or is there still, and if it's like, face mask or stuff like that, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like pre-snap, illegal motion, illegal shift, false start, too many people in the huddle, stuff like that.
You got off schedule, off timing. You had a lot of first and longs, second and long, third and longs, like situations where you kind of are forced to throw the ball maybe a little bit more than you want. Like, if you're running screen plays and trying to run on normal down, like, you have to have a normal down and distance to be able to do that. You're not going to call a ton of screens on, on weird down and distance where you have to pick up chunk plays.
Yeah.
Because defense is kind of expecting it at those points. There's a lot of obvious situations where screens would be a call. So you just got to stay on schedule. You got to stay on schedule with the chains. Are they still using chains nowadays?
Yeah.
They still got those?
Yeah.
They're doing like the virtual thing.
Yeah, we got that as well, but we got chains.
Okay.
I can't remember if I've talked about this before. So I learned that that's what the virtual thing is now. The virtual thing is just virtually showing where the human spotted the ball. So it's literally just the chains, but on a video board. I thought there was like a chip in the ball, that they were doing like the VAR system like in soccer. No, it's no different. So I remember how during the preseason game I was confused of how you can review a virtual review or whatever, because I was thinking, well, if there's a chip or whatever the system is, like, it should be foolproof. LMAO, nah. So yeah, it's pointless.
So did they move the virtual stuff to the regular season?
I believe so.
Did they?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times they just test stuff in preseason.
Right.
I didn't see it last week. I watched a lot of games. I didn't see one of them, so I didn't really know.
Yeah.
And I saw that nobody really talked about it. But yeah, easy money here, Saints.
I feel good about. I really do feel good about it.
I actually do feel good about this one.
I feel good about it too, but I can also see where, because I'm not going to lie, like a lot of the talk has been, oh, well, the 49ers are, they're banged up. It's like, yeah, their offense is banged up, but that doesn't really change the fact that the Saints offense has to take a step, because it could be a lot like what we saw in Arizona, where, we're plodding down the field and we're, 3 yards here, 5 yards here, 4 yards here. Like, it could be a lot of that. It could be 6-3 in the fourth quarter. And if that's the case, then all the injuries we've talked about really don't matter. All those injuries, and yeah, you want to win the game, but I want to see the Saints score. Like, I want to see the Saints move the football. If we win, 6-0, fine. It is what it is. I'll take the W. But there will be concerns. We need to see this team look more than just efficient. More than just, they can get 5 yards. Right? Like, we need to see them. This is where you got to put the pedal to the metal. And I want to see 20-plus points would be just, I'd be moonwalking on the sun.
And so for San Francisco,
which might not be a good sign for them.
Mac Jones is going to be
a bad sign.
The quarterback there, but again, no George Kittle, no safety blanket there. Juwan Jennings might not play in this game as well. So your New Orleans Saints have a real opportunity, and I know there's some Saints fans out there saying, I don't really know if I want that opportunity because we want a good draft choice. But just like I told you yesterday, in the history of the Saints, certainly recently, there is no guarantee that even if the Saints get a good draft choice, that they're going to make the right decision.
Well, that's any team. There's the two most generational quarterback can't miss prospects ever in the last however many years was Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence. How many playoff Andrew Luck was cool, but how much success did he have for Indy as far as playoff success and whatever? Trevor Lawrence has been horrible. Caleb Williams, another one of these can't miss generational, trade whatever you got to get him. As of right now, pretty whatever. So even if you get a good pick, and even if you're, whatever franchise, it's just, you just don't know. You have no idea who's going to be good, who's going to be bad, the situation. So if we're in week 2, if you're in week 2 of the season and you're like, I don't know if I want the Saints to beat the 49ers, man, what are you even watching for?
There's nothing that tells us that. So I would not bank on that. I would not say, oh, well, they'll draft the next star. That's not been the case a lot of times for the New Orleans Saints. And so
not only for the Saints, but anybody. Like I said, you could have had 5 of the first 6 draft picks the Trevor Lawrence year. You go Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Who else was in that class? Was Trey Lance in there? It was 5 quarter. I think, was that the Mac Jones year? I think that was it's 5 quarterbacks. Wasn't it Lawrence? It was Lawrence, Fields. I might be getting draft classes mixed up, but Lawrence, Fields, Lance, Jones. I think there's one more that got taken, and they were all busts.
So it's the NFL. You're
really
playing
right
on Sundays. Give it everything you've got.
Jacksonville, I've talked about this a million times. Jacksonville has took 3 quarterbacks in the top 10 over the course of 6 years. Missed on all 3. Blaine Gabbert, Blake Bortles, and Trevor Lawrence.
Go find a way to win some games, and you'll figure out the rest of it later. Don't hope to tank for any quarterback.
No, tanking's dumb.
Tanking doesn't happen.
It is absolutely dumb, unless you're 0-15. There's another team that's 0-15.
Even then, it doesn't happen. We have seen teams who had the first overall pick. All they had to do was lose in the last week. Win. Houston, the year that Lovie Smith, the year with Davis Mills. They win in the last, it was I think they went for 2 to win the game. They did everything they could to win that game. He gets fired. They end up taking C.J. Stroud. but they had the first overall pick. I think New England last year. I think New England had the first overall pick going into the last week. All they had to do was lose. They win. Gerard Mayo gets fired. So it's like, even when teams are presented with, hey, all you got to do is lose and you get the first overall pick, they still don't.
When you're playing them, maybe you throw some backups in there.
If you're 0-15,
yeah,
you're already to a point of no return.
Yeah, your coach is already gone.
Yeah, but those players do not want to go 0-17. They do not want to go winless.
Just 0-1 here for the New Orleans
you never
Saints.
tank with a first-year coach. Come on.
Yes.
We can't even tank anyway. Who's going to say that? The owner's going to come down and be like, hey, I want you to lose this game. And then you got a bunch of competitive professional athletes and coaches that are getting paid a lot of money. What are they going to say? Okay, yeah, definitely going to try to lose this one. No, that ain't going to happen.
No.
This ain't basketball.
They're doing basketball.
They probably do that. They probably do it in soccer, too.
No, actually, the complete opposite in soccer.
Yeah, soccer is the opposite because of relegation, quote unquote tanking, and there's no draft. But tanking can cost you like hundreds of millions of dollars. It can set your entire club back 50 years if you fall out of like the Premier League into a lower level league, because then you lose so much money and all of a sudden can't buy players, all of a sudden can't fill a roster, and then a lot of teams will be Premier League teams for a long time, fall out, and then never make it back to the Premier League.
The complete opposite, because if you tank in soccer, you go down to another league. You go from the majors to the AAA. Sure. You can go from AAA to AA, AA to single A. So actually, the complete opposite if you tank in soccer.
If you go down,
and you lose millions of dollars.
You could be like the top dog.
But you lose millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah, usually not how it works, because usually you go down to another level and all your players leave because they don't want to play in the lower level, and then you can't sign players because it's just a disaster.
If you go from like the Premier League to the championship.
Yeah.
Sure.
So actually, there's incentive in soccer to do the complete opposite.
Okay. Yeah. So if you want to win the games, that means you got to fake more injuries.
You can call fake injuries all you want, but there's no tanking.
If you're tanking, you don't fake injuries. If you want to win, you fake injuries. Is that right?
Well, you know what's crazy about that? The most quote unquote fake injuries we saw recently has been in college football, with all the fake cramps and all that stuff that like Ole Miss and teams like that were doing to slow the clock down.
Whatever you want to say, whatever
that was way worse than a soccer game.
For shade you want to throw, I'm just telling you. There's 20 teams in the Premier League. You don't want to be in the bottom three. Sure. The bottom three go down to the championship. There's 3 teams from the championship that come up to the Premier League.
But isn't that funny though? Like time wasting, fake injuries, whatever. Like that's way more prevalent in the pure sport of college football.
It is millions upon millions of dollars to the bottom line if you go down or go up.
Okay, very good.
It's called promotion relegation.
Nice. Well, this is called a tease. I've done some research on the type of owls that different colleges have as their mascot. I'm going to give you that list.
Wow.
When we come back from break.
Is that what you're typing up over there?
Oh, yeah. That's the research I've been doing.
I might stick around.
It's in depth, too.
Okay, there you go. You know owls, their ear hole or whatever is it's like a bone. And I believe it's their eye. Isn't that right? I haven't watched Zaboomafoo in a while, but I think their eyes are hollow, or they're like bone-shaped, and they can't move their eyes because they're bones or whatever. And then so that's why they had to move their head like that. And I think it's like hollow to where it's also how they hear. Someone double check me and let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.